Hey guys, this is What If here, and boy oh boy, it is finally time to review NASCAR Heat 2. And I have a list of things I've written down to make sure I don't forget things, just like I did for NASCAR Heat Evolution. And I'm ready to talk about it. I'm going to get the pros out of the way first. So, yeah, let's just do that first. So, the first thing that I noticed, when playing this game is graphics are definitely improved. They're not anything spectacular, they're not anything groundbreaking, revolutionary, but they're definitely improved, and that's at least a step up from NASCAR Heat Evolution. Again, you're going to be hearing this a lot, that there's a lot of things that are better than NASCAR Heat Evolution, but I don't know if that's saying much or what, because the bar was set so low. It was beyond the freaking... It was in freaking... It was like in the volcanoes of like the center of the earth sort of thing. Like, it just... Oh my god, but... graphics are definitely improved a little bit, so that's nice. Also, the spotter is a little bit better. It's not amazing. He does feel a little bit delayed in some of his phrasings and everything, so it's not amazing, but it's better. It's better than NASCAR Heat Evolution. I don't know if that's saying much, but it's definitely a little bit improved. One of the big pros for this game that makes NASCAR Heat 2 way better than NASCAR Heat Evolution is the handling of the car is stable. It is way, way more stable. It's not twitchy. You can be on the straightaway and the car doesn't want to wreck. So that on its own is a big, big step up. And that was one of the big issues with NASCAR Heat Evolution, among many things. But here, it's more stable. You can race side by side with people. You don't have those weird, dumb, stupid pinball physics where the car just goes all over the place. It's heavily, heavily reduced. So that's already a big step up right there. So yeah, the handling and the pinball physics are just so much better. Just way more improved, and definitely feel like you're more in control of the car itself. So it's again a very big step up. Also, you are able to brake and not die. Like, literally, you can have a green flag pit stop, head down pit road, brake, and you won't die. Or the likely chance of you dying is it's smaller. So they improved that as well. So it makes tracks like Martinsville, Phoenix, Richmond, a lot of those tracks more fun and playable to drive when you're able to use the brakes and not just get wonky ass sideways as bad. So again, it's a big improvement, and it's a good step in the right direction for that. The sound is a little bit better, not by much. The engine sound a little bit more, not like a complete rip off of Dirt Daytona. Some of the sound effects are a little bit better. It still needs to be tweaked on, but it's definitely a step up from Heat Evolution. Also, when you go down pit road and the tires screech, it's the same exact sound effect from 2000. I don't even know what it is, but it's really bad. But that's the only instance of the sound that I flat out just don't like, is when you go down pit road and you hear the tires screech, and it's the audio file for that sounds so disjointed from everything else in the game, so it stands out. It's kind of like if you're watching kind of like people make NASCAR clips, and you see one that's a newer clip and the audio is really, you could hear it just well, then you go to an older race and the audio is a little bit muffled and distorted and things like that. So it's just very noticeable when you have something like that up here. Another pro for this game is the driver roster. The driver roster has been the biggest out of any game. Even Dirt Daytona, as far as comparing the truck series, Dirt Daytona had 14 full real-life truck drivers. Here in NASCAR Heat 2, the whole field is truck drivers. So a massive step up. The roster for this game is the biggest it's ever been, beyond the EA games and anything. So I'll give credit where credit is due. Props to 704 for actually able to get damn near everybody except for GMS. I don't know why GMS didn't want to be part of the game, but that's not really their fault. That's just licensing sort of thing, so I can't really blame 704 for that. But they damn near got about every single full-time, regular, they maxed the field out with real-life drivers, and that's a big it's a big accomplishment. It's never been done before in a NASCAR game, so props to them. They really knocked it out of the park with at least getting as much drivers as they can. So also another pro is just getting more tracks and everything, but yeah, it's shocking. Honestly, it's quite surprising they were able to get that many real life drivers into the game, and props to them. Also, the damage model in this game is definitely improved. It's much better than NASCAR T Evolution in that regard. You can argue that it looks a little bit goofy at times, but at least, you know, when you wreck, there is some sort of damage and it looks battered. So again, it's a good step in the right direction, at least for the damage model, and it's definitely much better. I'll give them that. One pro with this game that even back in NASCAR Heat Evolution kind of had was the AI and the way they were. They raced almost for the most part well. There were some very big problems with it, kind of like not noticing where you were, kind of just running you off the track or into the wall. NASCAR Heat 2 is a different beast when it comes to the AI. It's definitely more. They have more spatial awareness of where you are. So the likelihood of you getting completely drilled into the wall or getting run off the track, it's toned down a little bit. Again, they still do like weird, goofy things, kind of like way back at Daytona. It's very similar in this regard, where like they'll get off the corner and they'll drive all the way to the bottom, like, and then they'll weird things like that. It's still kind of here as well. But for the most part, they have better spatial awareness, and they're surprisingly better than I thought. They make mistakes. They'll do things. So it's like, it's one of the crowning achievements, I would say, for this game, is that the AI are pretty solid. They're not perfect. They're not like a 10 out of 10 or anything, but they're solid, I would think. Speaking about AI drivers, the rival system in career mode actually kind of works. It's pretty decent. From what I've experienced, if you get a driver really mad, they will kind of door slam you. They'll get into the back if you're ahead of them. So it works. It's pretty good. The only thing I guess I could say is a complaint is maybe it's like if you really rough them up, it only goes up 1 bar. If you do, like, remember back in like the EA games, if you just completely drill them, they'll get really mad right off the bat, like 70-80% or really red or something. So maybe like the bar thing could be retweaked. Like if you really dick them over, like it'll go up maybe 2 notches or something, because again, I get where they're going, because they don't want it to be like they want it to more like build up or something. But that's just what I think. But yeah, the rival system in career mode actually is pretty neat, and it does work relatively well for the most part from what I've experienced. Another pro for this game is that you're able to make a custom car. Granted, it's very limiting in what you can do, but at least it's there and it's something. NASCAR Heat Evolution didn't give you anything, so I can at least appreciate that they did this. Also, if you get like the hot pass, you get more different, like I guess templates of a paint scheme, or different like things. Like I know WinValue 20 had like the like a state flag on the back of his like truck. So there's little things like that to do with the paint booth. Again, for Heat 3, they absolutely have to implement a full-blown detail like paint booth option for people that really love to make paint schemes, and implement that and do whatever they want. They really got to do that next game. Oh boy, here we go. We're getting to the cons of NASCAR Heat 2. Unfortunately, there's a lot more cons and pros, and just even looking at this note, it's pissing me off already a little bit. So I guess that's a good sign. So like I did in NASCAR Heat Evolution, I talked about career mode first, and I'm going to do that here as well. So first thing I have for career mode is no option into adding your name on the truck or car. Now again, I can understand if you're doing like hot seat races and your name is on the back like you're racing like a real life truck or car. I can understand that because of licensing and everything. I can live with that. I can live with that, like with that issue and everything. But the dumb issue is just not being able to, when you create a career or when you start one, it's just your gamer tag. You don't even have an option to put in like your custom name, like your actual freaking name, because it looks so dumb when you're scrolling through like the standings and everything, and you have everybody else's real name, and then here's your gamer tag. Like, it's stupid. Like, there's no excuse for that. It's really dumb. Also, even adding like hell, even if they wanted to add your gamer tag onto the back of your custom truck, they don't even do that. Like, again, it's one of those mind-boggling things where it's just like, why could they not implement that into the game? Like, that's the first thing I noticed when I was playing this game, like, within the first day. And apparently this was worked on for, like, about a year or so, and, like, it just never came across their minds? Again, it just sounds like such a simple thing to put in. Again, I'm saying this because these little things build and build and build and everything. So, it's just one of those things where it's like, man, that could have been so easy to put in the game, but they just didn't. Also, another thing I have is no freaking stats. In fact, damn near, it's less than what the game had last year, because at least you could look at the freaking schedule, look at the results for that particular year. Granted, when you move from season to season, you don't have a chance to look back on that stuff, but it's even less because it doesn't even give you a schedule and viewing results, so you don't even freaking know. And I don't want to hear the thing was like, oh, well, you could go to like My Driver, there's stats there. Well, that's for everything in the game. That is not just for career, that is for everything in the game. So in order to get an accurate representation of your career, you can't do anything else. You can't do any single player, you can't do any championship, just strictly career, and that's it, and then you get an accurate result. But I don't think most people are just gonna do that. I think most people are gonna be like, gee, I want to race at Iowa a little bit sooner than what, you know, the Xfinity Series. So, or hey, I want to race at Eldora when I get the game. Oh, well, you just fucked up your entire stats because you did a single player race. So again, it's stupid. I don't know why it's a big deal to implement into the game. Because apparently, if from what I've been hearing, just little, because I love my conspiracies, I love my conspiracy theories. So when Real Radman was talking about the game and everything, he was still saying like the game is still like a work in progress and everything, at least for the consoles. And this is like a few days before the game was released, like maybe a week or so. And it boggles and puzzles my mind. It's like, did this game truly just get finished at the last freaking second? It could explain for a lot of really dumb bug issues later down the road, but again, I say this a million times, and again, I know, the Steam version has the thing for stats. That's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but it should have been in the game in the first place. I've been bitching about it, I've been whining about it, and how do you have a sports game without a compilation of your career stats? It's like playing an NBA game and you don't get any sort of stats for anything, or playing baseball or football and you don't have anything. Like, the career mode, as far as like how many wins and top 5s and top 10s, you get fucking nothing. The only thing you get is just the standings for like the standings for just you know, your points, playoff points, and wins and overall points. Like, that's it. Like, Jesus Christ, like even freaking KamikazeGames had the thing where it's like you have the points, and then it'll show how many pulls you would have, and then top 10s. It's not a lot, but it's more than this. I know it's crazy, but in some aspects, when it came to that, KamikazeGames at least did that somewhat better, even though they didn't have stats barely in that game either. So I don't know why it's such a big deal that like a game like Dirt Daytona, like I own Dirt Daytona. Thanks to JC142 for getting that for me, by the way. But point is, Dirt Daytona has like a NASCAR Almanac section. You click on it, and it would show the stats for everything. And again, what I was saying before I even got Dirt Daytona was just a freaking menu with text, numbers, and everything. And Dirt Daytona literally has that. A game from 2002, 2 console generations behind, implemented this. And in modern nowadays, it's just not possible, or it's just not even a thought. I don't know. I'm praying to freaking God it's in the next game, because it would benefit not just me, but it'll benefit any player playing the game. Way more than freaking split screen, where it only benefits for a select few people that have a significant other friend that would want to play. So that's my tangent on it and everything. So that's just so lacking, because it kind of just gets monotonous after a while playing a game when you just go from race to race and you don't even know, like, because I have a different account and I'm like I already moved on to like the Xfinity series and everything, and I don't do the truck series anymore. But I just want to kind of think about it like every now and like, gee, you know, I want to look back on like how my truck series went with like when you add in like all the hot seat races plus the full time one. How many wins did I like? Because I'm forgetting. Like I'm genuinely forgetting. Like I shouldn't have to sit here and write shit down to keep track of it. Like the game should honestly do that for you. I know that sounds petty or anything, but it's a common thing to put in a sports game. You don't play a freaking baseball game and you write down how many fucking home runs and RBIs and outs and all whatever any other sort of shit you have for it. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going on to that tangent a lot, but it just, oh god, it pisses me off so much. It's so dumb. Now I have here on my next note, no pre-race presentation. And when I was first playing this game and got all the way up to the Cup Series, I was agreeing with what I wrote down. Because the Truck Series and Xfinity Series don't have anything whatsoever. But, however, when you get to the Cup Series, there is actually a little bit of a pre-race introduction thing. And it's actually way better than NASCAR Evolution. I don't know if that's saying much, but there's a lot more stuff going on than just a 20-second sort of shot of just the pit road and then the track and then that's it. So here it's a little bit better. You kind of have a little bit of a mix of real-life shots plus like in-game shots, and you also have just more engaging and more interesting visuals to go along with the narration from PRN. So in that regard, it's better and everything. Also, you do have victory lane celebrations in this game as well. It's again, I can nitpick that as well, because when you do the victory lane celebration, one thing I always kind of liked in the way back in the old EA NASCAR games was like when you win a race and you see like your car, like depending on like how you race in the race, like if you got like some damage or your car is a little bit bent up here and there, it'll be like that in victory lane as well. And here it's not like that. It's like as if the car is perfect. It would make sense if you didn't make any contact, but if your car is battered and destroyed, then when you go to victory lane, it's perfect. So again, random continuity issue, a thing that I feel like they could just implement easily. I don't know, but as far as the celebration, like it's there, it's nice. I don't really have a problem with it, just other than the confetti clipping through the freaking car. That's dumb. But they actually got like the victory lane like celebrations and everything looking very similar to real life, like where they're at. So props to them. I just think they really need to have like the car look battered and damaged. If it's like that in the race, have it like that in victory lane as well. So that's just what I think for that section. Also, I don't have this in my notes, but I really should mention as well, but a lot of the driver videos are so bad. They're so bad. Like, oh my god, any Brad Keselowski video is so just awkward, cringy. Oh lord, it's awful. It just doesn't, it's just, man, it just feels like they're just shoving cameras in people's faces saying, hey, say this line, and then we'll go on to the next thing. Like Austin Cindrix, oh my god. It's almost as bad, if not worse. He's just like, a lot of guys are not liking what you're doing. Steve O'Donnell's calling you up because your racing is trash. Disregard the fact that we did the Kaz Gralla and everything he's saying about racing nice or anything is completely contradictory to what he is. But oh god, it's so bad. He's acting so bad. Like there's some drivers like Ryan Blaney that is fine. Other people like Ben Rhodes is fine. But oh my god, some of them are just really bad. And just so, and they're only like a few seconds long, so it's almost like it's cool, but at the same time pointless, because it's literally like I'm looking back when I'm editing these videos sometimes and I'm just like, it's like 4 seconds, 3 seconds, like I don't know. It's just not really, just short. Also, you do get like those text messages, kind of like tweets. They're better than Heat Evolution. They're a little bit more creative because some of the hashtags they use will be more engaging. Again, some of them are kind of repetitive, where it's just like, hey, you ran into me on the track, and every driver kind of says like that same sort of thing. But some drivers, when it comes to like hashtags and everything, or just the way they phrase things, is a little bit different. So I guess I can appreciate that fact for the matter that I guess the tweets are a little bit more better than Heat Evolution. So yeah, though that aspect's fine. Just some of the driver videos are just really cringy and bad. Another note I had was just a game-saving bug. For about the first week of NASCAR Heat 2, this was in the game, and I had the absolute worst luck of having this issue at least 3 to 4 times. and it was quite freaking annoying and just getting freaking monotonous doing it over. Just certain races over and over again, trying to finish exactly where I did in the races I put up on YouTube, and it was just, I was forgetting like what tracks I was doing. Like, you can just look back at like the Kansas video or something, or Charlotte. I'm just like, I don't even remember what tracks I did before and after. Just, it's just ridiculous. And also, again, they did fix it, so that's not an issue anymore. But still, how can you release a game that has that sort of issue? Again, it supports my crazy, irresponsible speculation theory of them just finishing the game at the last second, and they just weren't aware of this bug happening in the game. So, and it was happening to people that I can imagine it even being worse for a physical copy of the game, because I got a digital one, and it never really like back out of the game or anything unless you purposely do that. But I was doing that because I was checking out the career mode in the future for my other account, just to play more of that off camera. But I can imagine people having like a physical copy, and they're like playing different games, and they're ejecting and then putting the game back in, or doing something else and coming back to it, and all the progress is lost. So it's a really dumb issue to have in the first place. But at least they fixed it. But again, how does this get through testing? I don't know. Also, there's this team offer bug that's still in this game. What I mean by that is that, like, if you're doing something else in the career mode, or you exit career mode or do something else and come back to it, sometimes the offer will be different than what it was before. For example, if you're doing like a hot seat Xfinity race, originally you'll be offered Eric Almirola's 98 car, but then you come back to the game later and then it's a completely different sponsor or team. Like, it could be Morgan Shepherd or the 97 car, like things like that. It is weird. Granted, like, the star rating isn't different or anything, but the team you're with is different. So if people out there are really like gun-ho about hating Toyotas, hating Chevys or Fords or anything like that, and they see their offer change to some manufacturer they hate, ooh, they're gonna be salty. I don't care about that, but I'm just saying. But nonetheless, it is just a really weird issue with that. I don't know if it patch in the future is gonna be fixed, but again, it shouldn't even be an issue to begin with. But that's the least of my worries for the cons of this game. One really big, crushing sort of issue with this game is the game is too easy. For the most part, every track, it feels too easy. Like, in career mode, I can be with a 5-star truck team or Xfinity team, and I can just decimate the field. Like, it's disgusting. Like, just, again, like, this is one thing I was worrying about from the day one of NASCAR Heat 2 being released, which is that they were going to make the game easier and everything, because they thought NASCAR Heat Evolution was too hard. Even though these were the same makers that made their Daytona, and that game is freaking brutal with the difficulties. I don't know what their mindset with that is, but the thing of the matter is just at career mode, like, it is too easy. Like, I'll use an example. A Wind Valley D820 raced in Morgan Shepherd's car in his first Xfinity race and won that race. I think that tells you everything you need to know about the difficulty of this game right there. It's ridiculous. It's, man, oh man. And if you do the stages and everything, like, it just makes it even easier. And, oh, God forbid, if you want to use manual gears, oh, you'll get a jump start like no freaking other. And you'll gain like 7 spots right there just because you're using manual gears. And, oh, God forbid, if you race at a road course and pass 20 cars in the first corner. It's ridiculous. That stuff's really bad. It is really just, it's really dumb. Also, another really weird issue is that certain drivers don't finish where they should in the finishing results. I've had this issue many times in the Truck Series and Xfinity, where, like, say and one example is in one truck race, I had Chase Briscoe and Matt Crafton finish like 2nd or 3rd, or vice versa. I don't know where they were, but exactly. But in the finishing results, they put them like 13th and 17th. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, again, it's another mind-boggling issue of just like, how did this get through testing when that's such a noticeable thing? Unless it was made at the last, unless they finished this game at the last freaking second, and you just didn't look it over. Like, there was another instance in the Xfinity race where Darrell Walsh Jr. got a 5th place finish, and the game put him in 20th because apparently his AI is not meant to finish well. I don't. But that kind of defeats the purpose of racing against people. Their finishing results going to be completely different from where they are. So it's like, even if you aren't racing very well or doing okay, even if you aren't winning races, you don't know if you're racing with that person for second, but they're actually going to be like an 18th. So it's, Oh my god, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. It shouldn't even be a thing to be an issue with in the first place. So, I mean, I think it's easy to fix in a patch, but my problem is that this should have not been an issue to begin with. It's something that should have been not a problem whatsoever in making this game. Now, for the cons, I have things just like overall. This kind of just talks about everything, not just strictly like career mode or anything in general. But the overall, again, one issue is, again, it's such a mind-boggling issue that I think they could fix in a patch, but the caution comes out on the white flag. A caution could come out on the white flag like ARCA, but this is not ARCA. Oh my god, it's so dumb. It's such a dumb issue. I just don't understand. Again, it supports my wacky, crazy conspiracy theory that they were finishing up this game at the last second and there were just random dumb bugs like that. Because, like, that is something that should have been, like, seen, like, the instant that it was there. Like, oh my god. So, yeah, caution goes on white flag. I think that could be fixed in a patch. But, again, my problem still stands that this shouldn't have been an issue to begin with in the game itself. But, yeah, it's a dumb issue, obviously, because NASCAR does not throw out cautions on the white flag, so that's just common sense. Also, another issue with this game is that the game has no caution replays. Again, I'm just saying this because it's been a thing in NASCAR games from the past and everything, from 15, 14, Inside Line, 2011, NASCAR 09, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Like, again, it should be a thing to put in the game. It's just a standard for releasing NASCAR games and everything. Again, if you don't want to have the caution like replay or anything, just have an option in the pause menu to switch it off. Just things like that and everything, because really you don't know how the caution even really came out and everything, other than just the assumption that somebody wrecked, but you like to see, like, you know, what exactly happened. Like, so I don't know. It's just a thing that really should be like in the game, because like at the end of the race you have an option to view the replay, and they have like the view replay stuff with like the entire race is relatively decent. Like, it's not really bad or anything. So you would think they would at least. It seems like it would be something possible to do, but I guess it's not. I don't know. Also, there's no track map. I know what everybody's gonna say, because I got some comments saying like, "Oh, you need a track map because you don't know where to go." It's like, oh yeah, because surely going in a circle is too complicated, and I'll be doing a race and I'll just stop and just be like, where do I go, and just stand there puzzled for a half hour. No, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's such a stupid fucking thing to say. But the thing of the matter is that a track map would just be nice to see where everybody else is around the field. God forbid if there's a car stopped on the frickin' racetrack when the caution doesn't come out, and you would like to see, oh gee willikers, there's a car stopped on the frickin' track, I gotta avoid it, instead of waiting until the last second to see it in front of you. Things like that. When people are pitting, who the hell is the race leader? Again, it's a mind-boggling thing where it's just like, it's been in other NASCAR games from the past, and it just can't be done here. I don't understand. I guess it's just not possible. I'll get into that later, but it's just dumb not to have it. Also, another issue with this game is they're not able to use the right thumbstick to rotate the camera around the car. Again, it's another just mind-boggling sort of issue, because obviously it seems to be possible, because when you're like I guess like the cockpit view and like the roof cam, you are able to use the right analog stick to move the camera just a little bit. So that means that it's possible. Again, it was like this in NASCAR Evolution, so I just never brought it up because I just didn't. Just there's so much things wrong with it that was the least of my freaking my thought process. But again, it should be a thing to be in the game. Again, for people that really like to look at their paint schemes, or look at the, God forbid, the freaking paint schemes you paid $30 freaking for. You want to look around the car to see what the scheme looks like and everything, and it just would be a nice thing to have. Again, I don't know. Again, I'm complaining about things that just like, it's just common sense to put in a game, at least a racing game, as far as I'm concerned. So it really should be done. Another con for this game is that the caution system is still completely freaking broken. Again, the second year, and it's still broken as hell and just does not function. Again, the likelihood of you wrecking is less because the handling is more stable, but if there's an incident and there's a one-car wreck, it's just not going to happen. Hell, to paint you a picture, you can turn yourself around, go the wrong way, pile drive, and kill the field, and then the caution will come out. Like, that's just how broken the caution system is. And again, I just can't believe that this is the second game and it's not even improved or anything. It's, oh my god. I'm not gonna say it's better or worse than Heat Evolution. It's still, I just think it's the same. It's just as bad. Oh my, it's so dumb. I don't know why. Hell, there will be even instances where there will be a car or truck just chilling on the freaking racetrack, and either they'll be stopped or going really slow, and then there'll be no caution or anything, and then AI drivers just pile into them and it'll just be a big mess. It's a broken, complete clusterfuck of a system here. It's still just as bad. Hell, I can even look at tennis games like 14, 15 inside line. As soon as you turn the car around, the caution will come out. Here, it's just go backwards, destroy the field, then the caution comes out, and it's ridiculous. It's just as bad. Also, this may be a nitpick, but I wanted to talk about this because there are a lot of very bizarre and weird technical issues that the game has. Again, since I edit like my videos and everything, I kind of notice these things because I have to cut things, you know, so they're, you know, frame to frame good, so nothing's completely messed up or something. But it's just any sort of scene transition, it's just really weird. I'll give you an example. Like when you do qualifying, it'll fade to black, and then when it shows you, like, you know, the car or truck, it'll have different frames of sort of, like, it'll be like one frame and it'll be still like a black line or like a black screen, and then it'll have like a line, and then it'll be like game capture, and then it'll load that out, but it'll be dark. And then there's another frame where, like, the screen, there's like another line, and then at, like, the line, like above that line, the screen's brighter, and then the other line below that is like darker. So there's weird frames like that are just really strange, and I mean, like, you don't notice them, but your brain does. So it's just one of those things, and it's just odd. And there's things sometimes where the game, not even like the frame rate's drop, the game just stops for like a second or two. Like I'm racing, and then all of a sudden, either if I hit the finish line or some other part of the track, the game just stops. And there's been instances where it's been so bad. Like, look at the truck race in Kansas, for example. I was mentioning this, but I'm going down pit road and the game just stops for like 2 seconds, and I almost screw myself over getting down to pit road because of that. Really bizarre and weird instances like that. Especially sometimes for me, if I hit like 2 to go, as soon as I cross the finish line, the game it stops, and then it'll like shift. Just really, really weird things like that, at least for the Xbox One. That's just things that I've been noticing and everything. Also, just more weird things like the introduction video. Some parts of it, like where like there's edits and like noticeable like cuts and stuff, there'll be like a line, and then it'll translate. Like weird things like that are just bad. I just don't know why it's even in the game. I don't know why we're still having technical bugs and issues to this degree in a 2017 game of this kind. Like, even looking back on like old EA games, like NASCAR 2003, I don't really notice any sort of like horrendous technical bugs and glitches. Even Dirt Daytona, it doesn't even have that. So I don't know why it's so difficult. And it's really pitiful that like a game that's run at 30 frames per second has so many frame rate issues still. It blows my freaking mind. God, it's so just below par with this, at least in the technical aspect. And the delacing and interlacing thing is still an issue. If you're side by side with another car and you see like their number, sometimes the number like 96, 95 or anything, you'll see like a little line in between it where like it kind of cuts. So that's technically like screen tearing of some kind, but it's noticeable. It's even worse if you go to hood cam and see it. So just weird things like that. And everything, it just, oh my god, it's just, from a technical aspect, at least looking at how things are looking, it just seems like a mess. And I know I'm gonna be getting comments like, oh, you're not a game developer, you have no right to say anything. Well, it's like, you're right, but like that doesn't mean I can't have an opinion or critique it. Stupid, it's fucking stupid comments. Like, Also, the AI pit strategy is pretty horrendous, still just as bad as NASCAR Heat Evolution. If you're doing stage racing, it's even worse, because sometimes they'll pit when the stage ends, and sometimes they'll don't, and then they'll pit under green a few laps after. It's a mess. So even if you're in like the lowest tier star equipment, you can potentially BS a better finish because the AI pit strategy is freaking horrendous, and it's really kind of game breaking if you're doing like a longer race. I've had that issue from time to time, and I'm only even doing 13% races, and I'm still noticing that. So it's a very big sort of concern. And if they just need to have better common sense. Like, watch F1 games and stuff. Like, the AIs have better strategy, way better strategy, and it's not just complete nonsense. So it's just the pit strategy in this game is still really bad. Also, another thing, as far as track layouts and everything's concerned, I really never had a big issue with how the tracks looked or were designed. But one thing that's so prevalent in this game, as well as NASCAR Heat Evolution, is that Bristol is just wrong. It is just completely wrong. 1, sense of speed, not there. 2, you're going so freaking slow around that track. 3, the lap times are like 2 seconds off, or even 3 to 4 seconds off sometimes. So it is just nothing about it's right. Normally, Bristol's a fast-paced track. I'll give you 10x this. Inside line 14 and 15 had that better feel of that, at least at Bristol, as far as things are concerned. So it just needs a complete overhaul. And again, I feel like it could be just the Unity engine holding them back so much, because there's just some instances where it's just like, if they just got to a better program or something, or engine software, it would make the game at least perform better and maybe get that better sense of speed and everything, because it just, ooh. I'm not just saying Bristol, they need to revamp the whole game because of Bristol, but it's just everything in general. But yeah, Bristol's just really it's just wrong. This is one last thing I'm just going to touch on, but you can have like the tire marks in the grass. Like anywhere on the track, you can actually get tire marks like on the grass, and it stays there, which is a really nice like continuity detail that I do like. And also, if there's tire marks or tire screeches and anything on the pavement, it's there as well, and it'll stay like that for the rest of your race. So I do like that aspect, and it's good. I don't have an issue with that, but I do have an issue with if you scrape the wall doesn't get any sort of paint or anything nicked to it. It just looks pristine as it was at the beginning, and that's just another weird issue. Because like, if you can do this for the grass and with the tire marks still staying on track, then why could you not do it for the wall as well? So it just another just weird thing to not include, because like if you already include that other stuff, then why not include like battle damage to the wall? Like, God, I don't know. And that's about everything I wanted to say. In my list, I have about 16 cons, but one of them was already patched, so that's about 15, and then the pros are about 10 or so. And again, the cons still outweigh the pros again. And I guess my final thoughts on the game, it's a step in the right direction. Like, they got it to the point where it's playable now. They got it to where it's playable. So that's more than I can say for NASCAR Heat Evolution. And my final rating, if I were to give a rating for last year's like Heat Evolution, it would be 3 out of 10. Just 3 out of 10. It was not good whatsoever. It was just bottom of the barrel. And also for this game, I was going to give it initially about a 5 out of 10, like right down the middle of the road, good, like average sort of thing, maybe even 5.5, but 5 I was very confident on. But now I was thinking about all the weird technical sort of like bugs, and the finishing results not making any sense, the saving game bug, I just had to lower it to a 4.5. It was just weird things like that that make the game look less impressive than it should. And I mean, even the freaking, I forgot to rant about this, but they are hyping up split screen so much in this game. It was just mind-boggling, because split screen is nothing new. It's been in video games forever, and then they're hyping it up so much because it's in the commercials. They even had like a segment with Brad and Joey Logano playing with the freaking split screen, and even people like that I watch other videos on that they're talking about the game, even they are just like saying, yeah, it's really questionable why they're hyping up split screen so much. Like, that's not, like, I'm glad I'm not the only one, but even people that are pretty positive about this game way more than I have before the game was released. They were even questioning, like, why are they hyping the split screen out so much? And it's just such a thing where it's like, congratulations, you implemented something that should have been in the game in the first place. Don't hype it up like it's the next, like, revolutionary thing. Like, it's stupid. It's just so dumb. My God. But anyways, my final thoughts. 4.5. I was gonna give it right down the middle of the road, like 5 out of 10 average, but a lot of those weird technical bugs and glitches that should have been fixed day one when it came out. And again, I think that this game was somehow rushed, and from hearing what other people were saying about the game, and like a week or two before it was released, that they're still working on like the console stuff and everything, like that could explain why there's so many weird dumb bugs, like the caution thing coming out on the white flag, the finishing results being dumb, the team offer like weird bug, oh my God, it's just dumb things like that could have just easily been avoided. But I don't know. But that's my rating. It is better than last year. I don't know if that's saying much, but they at least got to the point where it's playable, and I'm at the very least optimistic for the future, considering that they're already implementing the stats thing for Steam, and they might implement the thing later. And it does seem like just an overall better, like an overall more rounded game than Heat Evolution. Heat Evolution, it was just so jagged originally, and then this one feels just a wee bit polished. Not by much, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely at least a step in the right direction in this aspect. They just gotta there's just some dumb things like the weird little bugs here and there, but they definitely need to make the AI a lot tougher. They just need to be more harder. They got to go back to the brutal insanity that was Dirt Daytona, because oh my God, that was legitimately challenging. At least there's no rubber banding in this game, so that's a big plus as well. But yeah, so that's my overall thoughts on the game. Just took me a little bit just to get my thoughts together and write everything down so I don't forget, because some things are just either very minute or small details, but there's just things that go a long ways. So I just had to write all this down to get my thoughts proper together, and it took me about almost a week and a half to get all this to kind of get my thoughts all together. So hope you enjoyed. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I had to record this again because my original like 40 minutes of unedited video was like, the camera battery just died. It just couldn't handle it. So I don't know, I'm going to try to cut it down and get to the exact what I want to say and not have any more awkward pauses or muddling around with my words. So I don't know how long it's going to be, but Heat Evolution was like 37 minutes, so who knows how long this is going to be, but I just like to get my thoughts all out here. So that's about everything I wanted to say. I can at least say I'm slightly optimistic for the future of these NASCAR games. They definitely implemented things that are at least an improvement, and also I forgot that like when you go to switch teams and everything in the offers, it'll give you like a little bio and it'll give like a little small like history of like the team you're gonna sign up with. So it'll just say like what they are and everything. And I do like that. It's a good touch. Little things like that here and there. Some of them are fine, and I don't have a problem with. But that's just an example. But yeah, that's everything I want to say. There's probably something more that I'm just not thinking of, but I don't want to drag this video out any longer. So that's really about it. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like I always say, I do appreciate love, feedback, and support. All you guys give me in the comment section below, and as well as liking the video, because it helps me a lot in the long run. Also, I want to give a big shout out to my Tier 3 Patreon supporters of Dale Reynolds, Braydon Hill, Scott Browning, and Mark Kolar. Again, I really appreciate you guys donating the amount you did, and I do seriously cannot thank you enough for that. It's really cool. Those are my thoughts on the game. Let me know what yours are in the comment section below. I'm curious to see what you guys think. I'm kind of like nearly the middle of the road, so positive or negative feedback, I mean, I'm just going to be completely like understanding to probably every spectrum, because I'm damn near right in the middle. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. So again, curious to see what you guys think. I'll see you guys later, and as always, have a good day, everyone.